See him? That's the bride's ex.
No way! He came to the wedding?
He just sits there, so bold. Poor guy.
He's the one our friend left.
Yes, he used to be rich, now he's broke.
Can you imagine? So broke!
In the bright and busy city of Lagos, there lived a man named Saro and his beautiful wife, Sade. They lived in a house so big it looked like a palace. It sat right on the edge of the water in a place called Banana Island. In their home, everything sparkled. The floors were made of shiny marble that felt like ice under your feet, and the chairs were covered in gold silk. Saro was a kind man with a warm smile. Every morning, he looked at Sade and thought he was the luckiest man in the world. He bought her the finest lace, the shiniest diamonds, and the fastest cars. Sade, my queen, Saro would say, I would give you the moon if I could. Sade would smile back, but her eyes weren't looking at Saro's face. She was looking at the heavy gold watch on his wrist. She was looking at the expensive rings on her own fingers. Sade did not love Saro because he was kind. She did not love him because he was hardworking. She loved him because his pockets were full of money. One evening, they hosted a grand party. There was music that made the ground shake and enough food to feed a whole village. Sade walked through the crowd like a peacock, showing off her colorful dress. Look at me, she whispered to herself in the mirror. I am the richest woman here. I will never be poor. I will always be a queen. But while the music played, a dark shadow was falling over the house. Saro's father, the great Chief Williams, was very sick in the hospital. Saro received a phone call that made his heart stop. He rushed to the hospital, leaving the party behind. When he arrived, his father's hand was cold and trembling. My son, the chief whispered, his voice as thin as paper. I have a secret. The big buildings, the money in the banks, it is all gone. A bad deal took everything away. We have lost it all. Saro's breath caught in his throat. Everything, Papa. Everything, the old man said with his last breath. But remember, Saro, a man's name is worth more than gold. Saro sat in the quiet room for a long time. He wasn't afraid of being poor, but he was worried about his beautiful Sade. How would he tell her that their golden life had turned into dust? He didn't know that the woman he loved was about to show him her true heart. Saro drove home from the hospital with tears in his eyes. The city lights of Lagos usually looked like diamonds to him, but tonight they looked like cold, hard stones. He walked into his grand mansion, but it didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like a giant museum of things he no longer owned. Sade was sitting on a velvet sofa, counting a stack of new designer bags she had bought that afternoon. She didn't even look up when he entered. Saro, you are late. You missed the end of the party. Did your father give you the keys to the new estate? Saro sat down heavily beside her. His voice trembled. Sade, my love, please listen. My father is gone, and the money is too. The banks have taken the houses and the cars. We have nothing left but a small cottage and my own 2 hands to walk with. Sade froze. The expensive bag she was holding dropped to the floor. She didn't reach out to hug her husband. She didn't offer him a glass of water. Instead, her face turned as hard as a rock. What do you mean, nothing? She hissed. Her voice wasn't sweet anymore. It sounded like a snake in the grass. Start over? In a village? Look at me, Saro. Do I look like a woman who manages poverty? I am a queen. I married a millionaire, not a common laborer. I didn't sign up for broke energy. Saro couldn't believe his ears. But Sade, my love, I thought you loved me too. I loved the life you gave me, Sade snapped. She walked to the bedroom and began to throw her expensive dresses into a suitcase. I am leaving. I cannot stay here and watch the banks take the furniture. It's embarrassing. People will talk and I won't be the one they pity. Saro stood in the doorway, his heart breaking into 1,000 pieces. Where will you go? We are married. Sade zipped her bag and looked him up and down with disgust. Consider us finished. I am moving on to a man who can actually take care of me. Only a foolish woman stays on a sinking ship. Goodbye, Saro. Have fun being poor. She walked out of the mansion, the heels of her shoes clicking loudly on the marble. She didn't look back once. Saro sat on the floor of his empty living room, surrounded by shadows. He had lost his father, his fortune, and his wife all in one night. But as the sun began to rise over the ocean, Saro wiped his eyes. He realized that the gold was gone, but his spirit was still there. He was no longer a rich man, but he was finally a free man. He knew who his friends were, and he knew who his enemies were. The rebuilding was about to begin.
2 months had passed since the great fall. Saro did not spend his days crying or complaining. Instead, he moved into a very small, clean apartment. It was a far cry from the mansion in Banana Island, but it was peaceful. Every morning he woke up at dawn, put on a neatly ironed shirt, and went to work. Saro was no longer Chief William's son. He was now just Saro, a man with a brilliant brain for building things. He began working as a consultant for a large company. He didn't tell anyone about his past. He worked quietly, helping to design bridges and roads that would last for 100 years. While the world thought he was finished, Saro was actually becoming stronger. Meanwhile, the gossip blogs were full of stories about him. Saro is broke, the headline screamed. People who used to beg him for favors now turned their heads when they saw him on the street. But Saro didn't mind. He was learning who his real friends were. One afternoon, a shiny, bright red sports car pulled up in front of Saro's office. The door opened and out stepped Sade. She looked even more expensive than before. She was covered in gold chains and her hair was styled in a way that cost more than Saro's monthly rent. She walked into a small office looking around with a wrinkled nose. "Oh, it smells like hard work in here," she mocked, waving a silk handkerchief. Saro looked up from his blueprint and smiled kindly. "Hello, Sade. You look well. How can I help you?" Sade laughed and tossed a thick gold-edged card onto his desk. "I didn't come here to talk to you, Saro. I came to show you what you're missing. This is an invitation to my wedding." Saro picked up the card. It was an invitation for the wedding of Sade and a man named Femi, a son of a very wealthy oil family. "Femi is a real man," Sade brags, leaning over the desk. "He doesn't live in a tiny box like this. He is buying me a private jet. I told you, Saro, smart women upgrade. I didn't want to be stuck with your poor man luck. I am marrying into the biggest fortune in Nigeria." Saro felt a sting in his heart, but he didn't get angry. He looked at the card and then back at her. "I hope it makes you happy, Sade, truly. But remember, a house built on sand cannot stand the rain." Sade rolled her eyes and turned to leave. "Save your lessons for someone who cares, Saro. I'll be dancing in a palace while you're counting pennies. Don't be late to the wedding. I want you to see what a real winner looks like." As her red car sped away, Saro went back to his work. He wasn't counting pennies. He was calculating the strength of a new bridge. He knew something Sade didn't. Wealth that comes from your own character is the only wealth that stays. The stage was set for a wedding that no one in Lagos would ever forget. The day of the wedding of the year arrived. The venue in Ikoyi Island was decorated with thousands of white roses and crystal chandeliers that hung from the ceiling like frozen rain. Everyone who was anyone in Lagos was there, dressed in their finest clothes. Saro arrived quietly. He didn't wear gold or diamonds. He wore a simple, perfectly tailored black suit. He took a seat in the back, watching as Sade walked down the aisle. She looked like a queen, a long white dress trailing behind her, a smug smile on her face. She spotted Saro and gave her a tiny mean wink. She thought she had won. Femi, the groom, stood at the altar looking very proud. Beside him stood his father, Chief Obafemi, a tall man with a very serious face. As the music played, Chief Obafemi's eyes wandered across the crowd. Suddenly, he froze. He blinked once, then twice. He wasn't looking at the bride. He was looking at the man in the back row. Before the priest could start the ceremony, Chief Obafemi raised his hand. "Hello," he said. The music was still playing in the background. The guests whispered in shock. The chief walked down the aisle, past the confused bride, straight to the back of the room. He stopped in front of Saro. "Is it really you?" asked the chief, his voice shaking with emotion. "Are you the son of Chief Williams?" Saro stood up slowly. "Yes, sir, I am Saro." To everyone's amazement, the powerful Chief Obafemi pulled Saro into a giant hug. "I have been looking for you for months. Many years ago, when I was a poor boy with no shoes, your father saw something in me. He paid for my school. He sent me across the ocean to study. He gave me the money to start my first business. I owe everything I have to the Williams name." The room went silent. Sade's face turned from white to a strange shade of grey. The chief turned to the crowd. "I heard the Williams family lost their lands, but what the world doesn't know is that your father left a private account in my care. He told me to keep it as a seed for his son. With interest, that seed has grown into 200 million naira. Saro, this money is yours, and more than that, I want you to be my partner and the director of engineering for all my companies." Sade's eyes widened. 200 million naira? A partnership? She dropped her bouquet of flowers. She tried to run towards Saro. "Saro, my darling, I knew you were a winner." But Chief Obafemi stepped in her way. He looked at Sade in the eye. He didn't look angry, he looked disappointed. "Chief," Saro said calmly, "this woman was my wife. She left me the moment my father died because she said she didn't want broke energy. She told me smart women upgrade to richer men." The silence in the room was so heavy you could hear a pin drop. Chief Obafemi looked at Sade, then at his son, Femi. His face turned like thunder. The grand hall was so quiet you could hear the candles flickering. Chief Obafemi looked at Sade, who was shaking in her expensive white dress. Then he looked at his son, Femi, who looked very confused. "Is this true?" Chief Obafemi asked, his voice booming like a drum. "Did you leave this good man because his pockets were empty? Did you mock the son of the man who saved my life?" Sade tried to find her voice. I just wanted a better life. Femi, tell him. We love each other." She reached for Femi's hand, but Femi pulled away. He had seen the look in her eyes. It wasn't love, it was greed. "My son," the chief said to Femi, "a woman who leaves a man when he is down will leave you too the moment your oil wells run dry. A house built on gold but no heart is a house that will fall." Femi looked at Sade, then at the woman he was about to marry. He realized that Sade didn't love him for his jokes or his kindness. She loved him for his bank account. "The wedding is over," Femi said firmly. He took off his gold ring and put it in his pocket. "I don't want a wife who sees people as bank accounts." "Wait, no!" Sade screamed. She fell to her knees, her beautiful white dress bunching up on the floor. "You can't do this. The cake, the guests, the jewelry, everything is ready." But the guests were already whispering and pointing. The people she wanted to impress were now laughing at her. The society blogs she loved so much were already typing the story, "The Gold Digger's Great Fall." Chief Obafemi turned his back on Sade and walked over to Saro. "Come, my son, we have much to discuss. Your father's legacy is in good hands."
As they walked out of the hall, Saro didn't look back to mock Sade. He didn't feel happy seeing her cry. He just felt sad that she had traded a heart of gold for a pile of paper money. Sade was left standing alone at the altar. Her friends, who were only there for the free champagne and the fame, began to leave one by one. Her dream upgrade had turned into a nightmare. She had lost Saro, she had lost Femi, and worst of all, she had lost her reputation. In the weeks that followed, Saro's life changed. With the 200 million naira and the partnership with Chief Obafemi, he started his own company called VTW Developments. He built homes for people, not just mansions, but good, strong houses for everyone. He became a man respected not for his father's name, but for his own hard work. Sade, on the other hand, found that no one wanted to help her. The wealthy families closed their doors. Her designer bags had to be sold to pay for food. The queen of Banana Island was now just a woman with a suitcase and a very hard lesson to learn. Months turned into a year, and the name Saro was now famous all over Lagos, not for being a broke man, but for being the most successful developer in the city. Saro was now the owner of VTW Developments. He moved into a beautiful home, but this time he filled it with books, laughter, and a spirit of kindness. One hot afternoon, Saro was driving his silver Range Rover through the busy streets of Ikoyi. Traffic was slow, and he looked out of the window at the people selling things by the side of the road. His heart always went out to those working hard under the sun. Suddenly, his eyes stopped on a woman standing by a small wooden store. She was dusty and tired, holding up loaves of bread and cold bottles of soda to passing cars. Her dress was faded, and her hair was covered in a simple scarf. Saro's heart skipped a beat. It was Sade. The woman who refused to manage poverty was now struggling to buy a single meal. Her boutique had failed because no one wanted to do business with someone so unkind, and her wealthy friends had vanished like smoke. Saro pulled his car over and stepped out. When Sade saw him, she gasped. She looked at his shiny car and his expensive suit, then looked down at her own dirty hands. She fell to her knees right there on the pavement, her tears streaming down her face. "Saro," she sobbed, please forgive me. I was foolish. I thought money was everything. Now I have nothing. I am hungry and I have nowhere to go. Please give me a job. I will clean your floors. I will wash your car. Just help me." Saro looked at her with pity, not anger. He reached into his pocket, but he didn't pull out a stack of money to brag. He pulled out a business card and a small amount of cash for her transport. "Sade," he said softly, helping her stand up, "I forgave you long ago. I don't hate you, but I cannot give you back the life we had, because that life was built on a lie. You didn't love me, you loved my gold." He handed her the card. "Go to my office tomorrow. My manager will find a job for you in the kitchen. It is honest work. You will earn your own way, and perhaps you will finally learn that money can buy a bed, but it cannot buy sleep. It can buy jewelry, but it cannot buy beauty." Sade nodded, crying as she watched him drive away. She had learned her lesson, but the price was very high. A few months later, the wedding of the year happened again, but this time there were no cameras for the gossip blogs. Saro stood on a private beach at sunset. He wasn't marrying for fame or a status upgrade. He was holding the hands of Faith, a brilliant woman who had stood by him when he was just a quiet consultant. Faith loved Saro for his mind, his courage, and the way he treated the poor. As the fireworks lit up the Lagos sky, Saro smiled. He had lost a fortune once, but he had gained something much better. He had gained a soul, a purpose, and a love that didn't care about the size of his bank account. Saro finally understood that the richest man is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least to be happy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this African folktale, please Please show us love by liking, sharing, and subscribing for more stories.